The Golden Boot last season in the Premier League went to two superstars who shared the award. Spurs' Heung-min Son and Liverpool's Mohamed Salah earned top honors with 23 goals last season. The award was shared for the first time since the 18-19 season when Salah, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Sadio Mane all finished with 22 goals apiece. Now, it may surprise some that neither Son nor Salah are favored to win the Golden Boot or top goal scorer this season. That honor goes to a guy who hasn't even played a single minute of football in England. That's Manchester City striker Erling Haaland coming over from the Bundesliga, the betting favorite at Caesars Sportsbook at plus 275. All right, we got the soccer guys back here on set with me, Tomas Rongen, and joining us from Barcelona, Luis Miguel Echegaray, the host of the Que Golazo podcast. Guys, before we dive into the Golden Boot conversation, just want to bring back your guys' predictions for preseason awards, and of course, we're adding things like first coach sack, which we went into depth yesterday. But let's get to the Golden Boot. You guys differ on your selections. LME, I'm going to give you first word today, and you going with Son from Spurs.
I am, and I feel like at this point, Tommy Tran, I'm Heung-min Son's agent because I was going all about him yesterday morning, on HQ, and then once again today. And listen, like TR's point of Mohamed Salah, I'm very close in choosing him as well for obvious reason. He's Mohamed Salah, and I think Erling Haaland, from that graphic that you just mentioned, and Salah have an advantage, meaning that at the World Cup, they're not going. They're just going to be resting. So that should be an advantage, in terms of goal productivity after the World Cup ends. But I'm sticking with Heung-min Son. I love this guy. And I think that one thing in particular is that he is the perfect type of player from an Antonio Conte system. And there's no luck and fortune on why he equaled Mohamed Salah's record of 23 goals last year. And I believe that this will be the year that he maybe takes over. I know that Harry Kane and Richarlison will be obviously competing for that. But Heung-min Son is such a Conte player. I'm so big on Tottenham this season. And I feel that Son is going to take it to that other level. But again, I put that asterisk because the World Cup really means that there are two halves in this Premier League season. The one before the World Cup and the one after. And the Golden Boot narrative will take precedent regarding in respect to that. So, but I'm sticking with the South Korean. I love him so much. I wanted to just keep going, but not against Villa, just against everybody else.
And that's from a Colombian born in England, hanging out in Barcelona right now, Life is good.
A Peruvian.
Sorry.
Don't call me Colombian.
Sorry. I had El Pibe in my mind, but I should have known of Nene Cubillas. You're absolutely right. But you're looking good, my man. I'm picking Mo Salah for various reasons. In the last half a decade, 118 goals. You know who the closest is? Harry Kane with 92. The average goal involvement each year is 32 goals. That's goals and assists, by the way. And I think without Mane, Salah will be even a bigger prolific guy going forward with more opportunities. And we know how he can score, coming in from that left side, obviously. And with Darwin Núñez being there, he'll occupy two center backs. You got Diaz on the other side. I think it will give Mo Salah more opportunities. And we're looking at penalties right now. That could be the difference. This guy is the penalty taker, where Son is not. So that adds another 6, 7, 8 goals potentially to what he can do. He can go 30 again. He can go, by the way, player of the year and goal scorer of the year. I picked Kevin De Bruyne, but I think it'll be a race between those two. And I think that Salah, as I said again, have proven over time, and not an improved Liverpool, a different Liverpool team, that he will get more chance creations and he'll bury that. And yes, the World Cup is huge, obviously, for him not going, resting and playing the majority of the minutes for Liverpool.
And for those at Anfield, happy to have a Salah long term, and a happy Salah hopefully means another great season from the Egyptian king. Tomas Rongen, you finished my words, so I'm going to throw it right back at you. Our first fixture of the day as we kick off game week 1, it is at Selhurst Park. It is Crystal Palace and Patrick Vieira.
Yeah,
and Miguel Arteta and his Arsenal Gunners.
And the All or Nothing documentary is coming out, which is, by the way, has the 3-0 hammering of last year at Selhurst Park, by the way, for Arteta. But this team is improved. And what we've seen in preseason, you can say, it's only preseason. I like about Arsenal. I can't wait to see them play, quite frankly, with that front four of Gabriel Jesus, obviously Saka, Martinelli, and Odegaard. at a young age now, the captain as well. So that front three is brilliant. They added two other very important components as well. Saliba, who might start as a center back, and obviously, the player they got from Manchester City in Zinchenko as well. So this is an improved team with a guy, a goal scorer, scored a hat trick, by the way, in one of the games in preseason, Gabriel Jesus. I can't wait. In saying that, they have a tough opponent in Patrick Vieira and Crystal Palace that came in 12th last year, semi-finals of the FA Cup as well, pushed a little bit above their weight from that standpoint, and they lost two key components. Gallagher going back to Chelsea, obviously, very instrumental in the 3-0 win, but I expect Arsenal to get a W and do it in a very high-pressing, athletic, almost a combination between City and Liverpool. Can't wait for Miguel to get his Arsenal team going this year. Expect a 2-1 win on the road for Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm not going to add too much to that. In fact, my score prediction is exactly the same, Arsenal winning against Crystal Palace. I think this is a really good way for the Premier League to demonstrate what it's all about with this opening game, because Patrick Vieira facing his former side, of course, as TR mentioned, Crystal Palace were very, very good last season in his debut as a manager in the Premier League. They ended 12th. They beat Arsenal 3-0. A lot of excitement, of course, with Michael Olise, Eberechi Eze, Wilfred Zaha, of course. And even though you've lost Conor Gallagher, you've got some good people like Chik Doucouré that's coming from Lens. This kid is a player. Our good friend Jonathan Johnson rates him very highly, obviously knows his French football very well. So, Patrick Vieira has everything needed, all the ingredients needed to make it a very good season and a very good team. And actually, historically, they do pretty well against Arsenal. They've only lost once in the last 8 games against the Gunners. But as TR says, I can't wait to see what Mikel Arteta has in store right now. Gabriel Jesus, to me, has been, one of the best transfers in this summer in the Premier League, of course, I believe. And Tommy Tran, obviously, I know that you know this. He's the most popular player in fantasy Premier League as well. And there's no surprise for me in that regard. And I think this is a very good Arsenal side that every day, inch by inch, closer and closer, they're getting closer to their identity under Mikel Arteta. This should be a good game, but I see Arsenal just about winning 2-1 at Selhurst Park.
They were this close to Champions League football, but they still get the Europa League because Spurs got them at the very end. So looking at the rest of the weekend, gentlemen, Thomas Rongen, the fixture you have your eyes on, and then we'll have LME talk about his after you.
Yeah, if I look at the top 6, the toughest game is the West Ham away game for Manchester City. And a team, by the way, that played the least amount of preseason games. It was Manchester City only with 3. And obviously, if you go by the last game, which was against Liverpool in the Community Shields, there's some work to be done for Pep Guardiola in a little bit of a rebuild. Fernandinho not being here. Gabriel Jesus, we just mentioned, obviously not being there anymore. Sterling not being there anymore. Zinchenko not being there anymore. So it's important. But they added a prolific striker, one of the best in the world in Haaland. How will Pep Guardiola figure out his front 3 and his midfield 3? Because in previous years, he's played with a false 9. So the angles in midfield with one less passing option with a false 9, they had to figure out. Is Calvin Phillips a guy that maybe have to sit in there and say he's got to do a little bit more of the defensive work, because in transition they got killed against Liverpool. He's going with Rodri, Petty, and obviously Kevin De Bruyne. And is Foden the guy on the left? Or is it Grealish on the list? We know Haaland will start. We know Mahrez starts as well. So this is a bit of a interesting few weeks for Pep Guardiola to figure out how good his team is and if he can get Haaland, who's, by the way, obviously rated as the number 1 guy to win the Golden Boot, so to speak. Can he get on track as well against a very good team that finished 7th last year? That's going to push again, went to the semifinals of the European League as well, in West Ham and David Moyes. Not an easy place to go. I think they drew there 3 times in a row last year, lost in the Carabao Cup against this team in penalties. So we'll be very interested to see how both coaches can West Ham make that next step and get into the top 6. I don't think so. I still think that Manchester City will get away with a W here in a very tough opening fixture, the toughest out of the top 6.
Where am I going to go? Where else am I going to go?
Let me think.
Villa, where Bournemouth. Come on, Tommy Trent. You know where I'm going. Up the Villa. Listen, Steven Gerrard's first full preseason with the club. Remember, he arrived in November. Okay, so now I'm looking for my Villa to develop, to improve. because now it's not just about Felipe Coutinho, but Lucas Dina, of course, Emiliano Buendia, Diego Carlos from Sevilla. What a transfer. And Bouba Kamara. The fact that he's an Aston Villa player, the future of the midfield in the France national team is unbelievable. This is a much deeper squad, a much better squad from last season. And Steven Gerrard was frustrated at the end of the last season, knowing that he needs depth. And now we have that. I think there's probably two more players coming in that should do the business. But death taxes Aston Villa playing away from home in the first day of the season. I don't care. Up to Villa. I'm very excited about Aston Villa. Can you tell? It doesn't matter whether I'm in Barcelona, Lima, New York City, or Birmingham. Up the Villa. Let's go, baby.
Wouldn't matter if he was out in space or if he's out in there down in the United Equator. Luis Miguel Echegaray at his Villa comes through and through. LME, thank you very much. TR, thank you very much. It is his show, the Kay Golazo podcast. West Ham, Man City, Frankfurt, Bayern, Claremont, and PSG. We're all over the place. Premier League, Bundesliga, Ligue 1 action. Download and follow the latest pod today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.